Good morning from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's still morning, it's 11:43 a.m. on Sunday, the 1st of September 2024. A pinch and a punch for the first of the month, am I right? What's the answer to that? There's an answer, something like, I can't remember, a slap and a kick for being so quick, words to that effect. Anyway, babies, it's hot, it's 30 degrees already. It was hotter yesterday though. So I've been out, I've cleaned my fish pond filter, and it was delightful. I had my fingers sort of resting in the water, distracted with something, and I felt these little gentle suckings on my fingers, and one of my goldfish thought my fingers were worms and was like trying to feast on me. So it was just delightful. And then she kind of looked at me when she realized that it was me and went, ooh. Well, I don't know if fish have emotions, but that's what it sort of seemed like anyway. And then she swam away. I thought, well, honey, if you feel like some worms, Mama T can give you some worms. So I went into my worm farm and pulled out a few worms to sacrifice to the goldfish. Oh, were they happy. I very rarely give them worms. I should do it more often, actually, because it's good for them. And, oh, the happiness. The little girl one that was sucking on my fingers just devoured, quite large worms too, devoured it straight away. And then the other one was a bit dumb, hadn't figured out that I'd thrown worms, and I had to keep showing the other fish the worms, and eventually she or he got the hang of it and gobbled them down too. They only gave them about 2 big worms each, because they don't eat a lot, goldfish. Be careful not to overfeed them. But anyway, they've had a good feast today. Today's been a feasting day for the goldfish, so I'm sure they're very content. And they've got clean filtration now. So, yeah, and it's a gorgeous day outside. Absolutely stunningly gorgeous day. I can see out in the skyline a real heat haze. So it's going to be hot today. I don't know what the maximum temperature will be, but anyway, I'm feeling it power surging through my body. But this is what we're going to have to deal with, and this is only the first day of September. Dear goddess, we've got another 9 months of this to go. Oh, well, anyway, I tried to ring my friend this morning, Jared, because I thought we might go to the beach or go to Myala at Mount Glorious or have an outing of some kind, but he didn't answer his phone. And so obviously he's out, with family or living his best life. So I could do those things on my own, but, I don't know if I can be bothered now. It's too feckin' hot. I've got to conserve petrol because I'm going back to the doctor tomorrow for my vitamin B shot. And I don't get paid till Tuesday. So I suppose it's probably good that I don't go running around and, use up all my petrol. I think I've got enough though, quite frankly. But anyway, I'll think about it later. Sometimes I do things very impulsively and spontaneously and decide to go for little trips to places, not that far away. Don't like to go too far at the moment because of the dizziness I'm living with. It's a bit of a worry, Doctor says I'm healthy, but I'm still dizzy, so what the fuck is that? No idea. Anyway, had a fair bit of insomnia last night. My sleep machine says I slept for 9 hours, but I think out of that I probably only actually slept for 4 or 5 hours, but I'd kept the mask on, so it's registering how long the machine's being used. But by the gods, it was a rough night last night. I feel a little bit kind of shaken, not stirred from it. But anyway, energy, powerful energy. Just going to go and get a cloth because Charlie's splattered food on the laptop keyboard, and she's sure as shit gonna shit as well. Just a moment. Songs to the people, Charlie. Are you singing the lovely songs of your people to the people of Earth? Yes, I know. You is a clever bird. But you're also a messy bird. Look at this mess you made on my laptop. Oh my goodness. Let's just clean it up. Clean it up. Alright, right, here we go. Happiness is a rainbow lorikeet. Well, you've got wonderful attributes, Charlie. You's pretty, and you talk to Mama, and you keep me company, and you keep me very busy too. Oh my goodness. Yes, I know. Mama's here. Mama's here. Just had a mad thought I should go to Montville, but again, long drive. Not much money. I don't like to go on long drives when I don't have much money, because it's, you know, potentially dangerous. Things can go very, very wrong when you're a woman on your own. The car conked out or something. I mean, fuck. I mean, I do have roadside assistance from Coles, but I've never used them, so I don't know how good they are. I don't trust things. That's another thing. I lack trust. After the life I had, you'd lack trust too. But anyway, we shall carry on with my readings of even date, titled "The Tsum Tsum Continues." Show me the money. Oh my goodness, when did I write that title? That's probably about a year or so ago. Well. Where are you going, Charlie? Then I posted the title photo as a photo of me smiling. I must have just made these earrings, which ironically I'm wearing today. My new snaky earrings. So yes. Interesting. A bit interesting. 1st of September 2024, written at 1:01 a.m. this morning. I just woke up. Well, actually, no, have not actually slept. Something huge is afoot. I am being made ready, smiley face. Middle of night musings, you know. I don't know what I'm being made ready for, but something is afoot. There's drastic changes coming into my life, and I pray that they're benevolent and loving and, you know, positive and wondrous and spectacular. So I think I've fought my way through the last 8 weeks or so of absolute evil, everything thrown at me from every direction. Hopefully that's sloughs the fuck off now, and we can carry on with our life path journey to more and more and more awesomeness and more love and more bliss and more contentment and more comfort and ease and more prosperity and better health. Ooh, I'll be dangerous if I get better and better health. Really? What would I do with my time? I'd have to be even more productive than I already am. That's even possible. Guess I'll write my books. She says, I don't know if I can write a book, to be honest. All my books are up here on Vocal Media. They're all written down in my journals. All my writings are there. Everything. Pretty much everything. But wait, there will be more, says the spirits. Okay, well, If you want me to write, you have to give me the mental fortitude and the calm and the peace and enough money so I'm not in a state of perpetual distress, because you can't write good shit when you're constantly distressed. Trust me on that. Sometimes that happens randomly when the muse bites me on the ass, but, you know, usually it just leads to distressing trauma processing, and I don't want to be writing that for the rest of my life. I want to write beautiful, wondrous, magical stories of joy and overcoming and triumph, and maybe even occasional erotica. But for that I'd have to create my own stories, because I've forgotten what erotica even feels like. Oh, you have to laugh. I haven't really forgotten, people. I'm just being a dickhead. Every now and then I like to be a bit of a dickhead, just to keep myself humble, you understand. It's very humbling, being a dickhead. Anyway, carrying on. 1st of September 2023. Another day in paradise. It's a beautiful sunny day. I'm waiting for the electrician to come to fix the switch that constantly blows out the power board when I boil my kettle. So I had to clear everything off the top of the microwave and clean the bench under it. I have been intensely processing trauma memories in recent days. 1 year ago, the Jesus. Last night I wrote down notes from my trance drumming recordings. That was intense. All these false promises of true love, which I know is not real, but my broken, distorted, heartfelt ego talking. Well, actually, they weren't quite so false. You know, I mean, nothing's really manifested, but there was some quite delightful flirtations that came my way in the last 12 months. You know, they weren't serious, but it's kind of sweet. Stir the old lady up and keep her dancing as fast as she can, and keep her locked into that hell loop of entrapment that is never mind. You have to laugh. I'm laughing about it. Nobody entraps Mama T. She comes and goes like the wind. Think of the song Rhiannon or Ruby Red Dress, and you'll get my vibe, babies. All the women watching this video just fell off their perch laughing. It's how it's going to be. I might be like Delta Dawn with that flower in my hair, the faded rose from days gone by. But did I hear you say he was a-meeting ya here today to take you to that castle in the sky? Yes, men have fantasies too. I understand completely. I'm not mad. I'm not insane, and I'm not mad. I'm very, very amused by it all, really. Anyway, all these false promises of true love, which I know is not real, but my broken, distorted, heartfelt ego talking. 1 year ago. But I was gifted, my people of earth, my beautiful ones. Look at that schnoz. Oh my goddess, look at it. This is the joys of feckin' CPAP. With heartfelt affection and intentions on Friday night. So perhaps there was finally a shift of that old demonic albatross, and perhaps someone is coming into my life who won't try to destroy me, kill me, rape me, or leave me feeling unsafe and unlovable, which is a soul death that permeates for eons. We can name the ones that did that to me over the decades, can't we? Oh, Charlie's done the poopykins again. But that's okay. Some of them are now dancing in their small corner of hell, and others have moved on and got on with their lives and hopefully are happy and contented, which is how it should be. And Mama T's still forging ahead, waiting for you know, the man that is genuine and loving and sincere and chooses, you know, to make a life with me, which is kind of, you know, ridiculous and absurd given my level of poverty, living in housing commission, my schnoz, because who's going to want that? My crazy bird that shits everywhere, no one's going to want that. I know, I'm keeping you, Charlie. You are prioritised beyond all other mortals because you're my baby. And who's going to want, you know, who's going to want a woman who's older and too smart for her own good and sees through the bullshit? No one. But it's okay. I'm okay with it. I've lived this way for 29 and a half years. I can carry on living this way till the day I die, babies. It's not so bad. It's actually very freeing. Saves me a lot of distress and upset and getting my hopes up over people that just obviously think I'm some kind of dickhead. So, and I am a dickhead. In many ways I am. However, I'm also a formidable, wonderful woman. But, you know, only the very rare and precious get to enjoy that. Right, Charlie, what have you done? There's ants everywhere now. Where are they coming from? I know, you're not, she's just blinking at me. I know, you're not responsible for the ants, Charlie. They came here with their own free will, on their own time, and in their own mind, wanting your food, Charlie. Yes. 1st of September 2022. I'm sitting in my garden. An Indian myna bird flutters down to the bird bath. It flusters about in a state of great agitation. It turns to face me. Oh, I remember that. That was brilliant. It turns to face me and shrieks at me in bird language. The bathtub needs fresh, clean water. I know it. I get up, drain the bathtub. It's full of possum poop. Yuck. No wonder the bird was infuriated with me. I clean the pond out with detergent and rinse it, put the plug back in and refill it with clean water, which reminds me I need to get another little, you know, sandpit type thing for the birds because I gave away that spa bath because it was too rusty. Had massive big holes in it, had to go. I am in a contract with the gods. The birds demand I supply them clean water for bathing in. I had to laugh. The bird could have drunk out of the fish pond at the front garden, but it was a matter of principle. I must maintain their standard of lifestyle before I dare complain about my own, indeed. At least I know the birds appreciate what I co-create in my garden for them, smiley face. I am grateful for fresh, clean water, for my sacred space, for my righteously, indignantly angry bird friends, for connectivity in cyberspace, even if the reptilian overlords try to play me for a chump sometimes. More often than not, actually, they're trying to play me for a chump, but we got that resolved, did we not? Little do they know whom walks beside me at all times. I spoke to Optus as my new iPhone is overheating, a grave concern. I ordered a new SIM card. Frankly, a new one should be standard with the new handset. All good. The rep politely suggests they can offer me a discount on my account as I have been a loyal customer since 1994, which is now 30 years, but that year last year was 29 years. I get momentarily excited as I worry about the costs and live too close to the edge on my budget. They know that I am a pensioner. So the rep puts me on hold for 10 minutes or more, comes back and offers me a 25% discount, but only if I port a family member or friend to share my account. What the fuck? I live alone. I have no family left, and my friends are all on different plans. And there is something Machiavellian about exploiting one's friends or family to get a fucking discount, just saying. Yes, I hate that, prostituting yourself to get discounts. It's very bad form. I sent Optus back a text to inform them of my dissatisfaction with their gaslighting, that I am a customer in good faith and have integrity, meaning I will carry on with my contract as usual. But it's astonishing, really truly, how I am treated. Marking myself safe, albeit in a toxic relationship with greedy globalists and their reptilian overlords and AI insouciant, sentient masters, sentient but still lacking basic grace and human ethics and decency. Still struggling with quirks of my new iPhone. It won't sync up with my stereo and Bluetooth. I used to have trouble with the old one too, so maybe it's the stereo that is getting too old. Or I am. Yeah, I need to get myself a new stereo one fine day. Should do it soonish actually. But anyway, I've had it since 2012 when I got my little inheritance, so probably wouldn't hurt to update it. However, the sound is really good on my new iPhone. So I am now sitting in the garden on my cushion on the ground, having regaled Rati with all my latest stories from my night out last Friday. She is cleaning, so I need to give her space and gather my thoughts in my sacred space garden. I'm thinking deeply about my persona and mana out in the Brisbane music and or dance scene. How the weirdness and depravity can bring me to the brink of actual violence, and how mortifying it can be, and how ultimately it all comes down to RESPECT. Respect for the dance, the art, the music, the lovers of vibratory insinuations and frequency delights and adrenaline rushes that decompensate the ancient traumas, but will simply not comply with actual, untrammeled, dibbook-ridden debauchery. Yuck. Maybe I have been asexual for too long, become prudish and too pristine, but Rati agrees with me. It was far too much, and I did the right thing. However, I am still having a post-traumatic flushing of my limbic system, as there was a moment, about 30 seconds actually, when I left my body and was galvanizing my ancient warrior, fully expecting to have to fight to the death if I had to. I'm trying to remember what that event was. I think it was some man being really fucking threatening. So I stood up, I flew to my feet, like without me even moving through my usual posturing to get up on my feet. I went from sitting to standing in -5 seconds. Freaked me out just as much as it did them watching it, those men. And I just said, fuck the hell off. And he still was trying to fight me. In the end, he got kicked out, not because of me, but he annoyed, he was annoying Scott and Paulie and Luke, doing something to their camera that films them, you know, they film for promotions on some of their gigs, you know. So he got kicked out for that. But that man was an ass. There's some assholes that come out on the weekend. What can you do, you know? I don't care about them being an arsehole as long as they don't come and start me or anyone in my immediate vicinity. Can't stand that. Anyway, I have not felt like that for several years, so that tells me it really was intense to be in that much fury, willing to fight to the death. It's not like me, actually. Very, very sweet, gentle person most of the time. So he really fucking triggered me for some reason. I almost wish I'd found a loyal, loving partner so I'm not out in that scene, dancing to my own obliteration, getting stressed out of my eyeballs. But then I do manage to have some fun before I die, which after all is my goal. Goal achieved. Next, get serious, Tanya. Find your niche, your place in the known universe, your safe harbour, your big chair with warm hands, warm feet and abundance, lol. You see? And I have found my niche actually in that club. They do protect me and tolerate my quirky ways. You know, they really do. 12 months on, I'm very, very happy with how I'm treated in that club. To everyone. Every one of you. You see, I have been programmed by show tunes during my early childhood to not take life seriously, and the inner tapes have not served me well. Romantic, idealistic, ridiculously high expectations of the Disney, devoid of reality checks, kind. Like, is it too crazy to meet a handsome man and genuinely expect him to respect my body autonomy by not almost immediately lunging his hands down the back of my skirt? Right, now I know that event relates to that idiot I met at the casino. So what year was this? Oh, it was 2022. So it's not got nothing to do with my club. But I have had a few incidents in the Brooklyn Standard with the psychos, so, but you get that. They love me, they protect me, and we've risen above all of it. But that idiot at the casino putting his hands down my pants, by the gods. Ooh, it was touch and go. It really was, literally, his touch, and he had to go. Anyway. All the other fucking creeps that actually hit the mother node, then dishonoured my passion and vitality and sexuality by screwing me over, screwing all my friends, and treating me like the dirt you scrape under a shoe. I won't empower it by naming it, but it's a low-level entity of the worst possible kind. No wonder I am asexual, a warrior goddess ready to kill for my own honour now. No, I am not a killer. I held my composure, but I had to tamp it down. It rides with me, that rage, when I meet debauchery and dishonour. A close companion, a better friend than most mortal companions, rides my emotions like a dragon slayer. Somewhere hidden in that subterranean cave is the treasure. There is always a treasure, O cherished one. 1st of September 2021. Some thoughts on my memories of today's date. The last of my 3 beautiful soulful cats, Socks, died on 9th of July 2021. It was a harrowing passing because I had to have him euthanized, and I was very ill with my usual respiratory illness, not COVID, of bronchitis and or asthma and a terrible cold. I was marginalised and told I could not be with my cat for his euthanization. I had to have a friend be there with him. Socks was terrified as he realised the minute I handed him over to her that something untoward and extraordinary was about to happen, and I felt racked with guilt and horror that the vets had been so unreasonably fearful of COVID that they had made my cat's death so fucking traumatic. Another incident of really evil, sadistic vets. A few weeks later, I was due for a colonoscopy and had to have a COVID test in preparation for that. And as I already knew, the COVID test came back negative. So those vets were histrionic, cruel, and discriminatory. This is the world I inhabit now, and none of it is okay. As for my intuitions, I had a lovely day yesterday and felt inspired to bake gluten-free muffins and thought to myself, I will freeze them down for the next time my friend Jared visits. I had not seen him for 4 weeks. Around 2 p.m, he unexpectedly messaged me and asked if I felt like a visitor. I was so surprised and delighted and told him I must have known something as I baked gluten-free muffins. He laughed. Oh, drank all my water. He arrived with the most beautiful runes he had handcrafted for me. The odd thing is, earlier yesterday, I had been looking at the business card from the Happy Viking, whom had given me a rune reading on my birthday in April. Jared and my daughter had paid for the reading and had also bought a goatskin rune bag that Elizabeth makes for my birthday. So when he arrived with runes to go into the bag, I was greatly surprised and blessed and happy, but also amused that I had been thinking about runes that day also. No accidents in the multiverses, people, but I do have, when I'm close to people, I can develop intense telepathy with them. It can be a little bit astonishing at times. I have it with my psychiatrist, with Jared, with my daughter, not so much now, we haven't spoken for a year, but when we're in regular contact, I have very powerful telepathy. Yeah, I have it with a few other friends I won't name because it will freak them out, but I can actually pick up on their, maybe not thoughts, but kind of energy or soul signatures. I had it with that former low-level entity to the point that I actually knew on the day that he hunted or stalked me at the red light at the crossroads. I knew that morning I was going to run into it. I actually already had been given pre-warning by the spirits. So when I saw him, I just rose above it and laughed it off, because that's what you do with demons. Just laugh in their face of their own debauchery and evil, and they can't abide that. It actually disarms them, laughing both at them and with them and for them and of them and by them. Laughter always is, always and forever, the best medicine and the highest form of magic. However, if I laugh too hard, I get asthma attacks now. It's very strange. Nearly kills me. 1st of September 2020. I just had a lovely surprise visit from my daughter Crystal. I told her she had been on my mind all day, so she must have picked up on my vibes. Another example of having telepathy, but it's not unusual for mothers and their kids to have that kind of psychic bond, you know, because they're your babies and you've raised them and they grow up with you, and, you know, you have that connection. But what is unusual when I have powerful connections with people who are not family, like lovers or friends, or, you know, that have not actually entered into my personal world or visited me at my home or gone out on outings with me. When I have those powerful connections with people that aren't actually technically that close to me, I sit up and take notice now, because sometimes they don't have good intentions for me, and that intense connection is me being given like almost like a radar early warning system, messaging or warning system. So yes, I'll be paying closer attention to that too. But or alternatively, you could look on the bright side and say it's real love, huh? Because those real love connections can also be quite intensely powerful. But Mama T has to maintain her own psychic space and her own authority, and not buy into other people's bullshit, just saying. Anyway, she quipped back that I could try texting instead of invading her psychic space. But I was picking up on her, not the other way around, so she was doing a little bit of deflection there, the little bugger. I replied that sometimes she doesn't respond to texts, but apparently she responds to my vibes. Then I giggled maniacally. I'm serious about laughing in the face of evil, babies. I am a very good telepathic communicator when I put my mind to it. Fortunately, I am half out of my mind often enough to not be a psychic pest like my own mother. I keep my mind occupied with all sorts of contrary trivialities like Facebook or TV shows, movies, and books. Imagine what I could achieve if I actually focused on something. Lovely earrings, am I right? Lovely earrings. In the back of my mind, something's nagging me to take up doing paintings, take up art and doing wonderful paintings. And it's been at me on and off for 6 months, and I don't know why. I occasionally do art, but very rarely. So it's I don't know what that's about, but yes. Anyway, I'm getting very hot. It's 24 degrees and I'm boiling here. Bring it down a bit. It's probably a hot flush, people of Earth. What's the temperature now? Still 30 degrees. No, 31. It feels hotter today than it did yesterday, which was it's kind of insane. But anyway. Where was I? Imagine what I could achieve if I actually focused on something. That is a self-deprecating joke, people. My mind is just fine. Unusual, eccentric and quirky, but fine. Anyway, I was very happy to see her. We had dinner together. Socks lay on the dining table, demanding tribute and tickles. He is such a man-cat. I had to give him extra dinner as he would not settle until he was satiated. Then he rolled on the table so Crystal could scratch his head. He is a very happy cat now. Yesterday I worked hard sanding back the pink marble table. Well, it's actually alabaster, to be honest. Still not finished, but pushed through the pain and even had a third wind. Today I'm too exhausted to do much, so I sat under the bald frangipani tree and read Postscript by Cecilia Ahern, which is the sequel to P.S. I Love You. I just had a visit from Pete with little Coco, who relished in cuddles with the Tanya, which really lifted my spirits. Dear, sweet, affectionate little goddess. It's another glorious day. It would have been perfect weather to keep fighting with that marble tabletop, but I need a break. The table can be worked on another day. I hope to finish it soon. I have another one to renovate, and spring is here, and the days are already heating up. I might buy a proper orbital sander to do the second one with, as it is too arduous for my hands doing it by hand and has taken too long. I will feel really thrilled when both tabletops are completed. Anyway, I still have several decoupage hat boxes and suitcases to work on. That can wait though. I am obsessed with getting the tables done. 1st of September 2009. Oh, glorious, glorious bracts of my macadamia nut tree. Which is flowering again at the current moment in time. Yes, Charlie? Flowers. Flowers for the people in the biddies. I know. There are lots of tiny native bees and a few honeybees buzzing around too. Here's a photo of someone who loved his mama very, very much. Very, very much indeed. My gorgeous boy. Yes, Charlie? I shared a poem, I think it's supposed to be. Gemma Star, Sacred Lovers. Divine union, conscious relationships, sacred lovers. What are women seeking in a partner? We want you. We want your heart. We want you to be strong enough to be vulnerable. We want you to be brave enough to heal. We want you to be courageous enough to cry. We want you to be soft enough to feel. We want you to be humbled by your power. We want you to have purpose in your actions. We want you to have direction in your life. We want you to have clarity in your thoughts. We want you to be aware of your ego. We want you to be in touch with your emotions. We want you to have presence in your being. We want you to have integrity in your living. We want you to acknowledge your divinity. We want you to honor your body. We want you to love your essence. We want you to be deep enough to explore. We want you to be free enough to fly. We want you to surrender to love. We don't want you to perform sexually. We crave intimacy. Well, we do, but, good sex when you can get it along with the intimacy is pretty good too. But yes, a man who's capable of loving you in all aspects of your being, real intimacy, highly desirable, guy friends. We don't want your money. We have abundance. We don't want your identity. We want your nakedness. We don't want perfection. We want authenticity. We acknowledge the sacredness of the union to be held and honoured in the highest esteem, and will not settle for a partner who does not regard the relationship in the same light. We will not align with men who hide behind identity, busyness, career, addictions, jealousy, excuses, dishonesty, control, codependency, materialism, possessiveness, judgments, criticism, abuse. We want someone who yearns for spiritual growth and is as committed to the union as we are, together consciously creating a sacred space, an exclusive sanctuary where we can come together with mutual love, trust, honesty, acceptance, honour and respect. We understand it will be one of the most challenging and difficult journeys we will ever embark on, but we know we are ready. We yearn for the growth that can only come from two whole individuals who come together to create their highest purpose, aligning with unconditional love and sharing it with the world. We know the road will be a series of rapturous heights and devastating lows, but we have no choice. We feel compelled to walk it fearlessly, doing whatever the hell it takes, not because we need to feel loved, but because we yearn to love unconditionally. We want a man who walks beside us as our equal, hand in hand, through the good times and the bad. We want you, the real you, surrendered, naked, heart and soul. To love you unconditionally, to accept you, flaws and all, to know you, to admire you, to respect you, to adore you, to honour you, to have patience with you, to understand you, to journey together, to support our missions together, to grow together, to heal together, to create together, to share love together with humanity and the world on earth as it is in heaven. And then she shared this interesting painting or drawing. Two hearts and minds merging as one, am I right? Wow. You must, Mamati has a phobia of being subsumed or eviscerated or obliterated by a man's control dramas or love or aloof drama or fucking games. And it'll set me off on a fucking tangent every time. So I think I'm destined to stay alone for the rest of my life. I think I have to make peace with that. I'm always going to be triggered by, as soon as I witness those behaviours, it's already the beginning of the end. And I haven't even begun anything yet. That's the irony. So, I just have to cut myself some slack and smile into the distant future and love the woman I'm becoming. It's a long, hard ride, but here I write. Now I posted this. It was actually written in 2018, but I posted it, or I came across it on Facebook on the 1st of September 2019. So we're talking 5 years ago now. Almost 26 years of singledom. Yeah, that'd be right, because it's 29 and a half years, or 29 and 3/4 actually. Time's marching on. Anyway, almost 26 years of singledom, having dominion over my own life, which is a powerful thing in its own way. It's also very fragile and vulnerable and brittle and distressing at times, but walking alone with your head held high, it's the most powerful thing a woman can do sometimes. And I'm still awaiting the one and sharing these posts with a whimsical air of resignation. But their intentions are lovely, even if most humans fail to meet even the most basic of these old idealistic standards, which it's a lovely poem and they're very idealistic and wonderful, but most humans can't even match up to a quarter of those expectations or standards. They fall very, very short indeed. But what can I say? It's the human condition and trauma and abuse dynamics. It's something we're all struggling against, I suppose, in various different ways, male and female. First of September 2018, the Kabbalistic Tzimtzum, the universal contractions before expansions, waiting for Godot, waiting to expire. The butterfly emerges from the cocoon where she was broken down into globulous mash after a lifetime of pulling back and pushing forward, like a mechanized matchbox car speeding to oblivion, careening carefully to the edge of reason. But shh, everything has its season. Pardon me. I feel the contractions of a new birthing, of what, where, when. I need a life, a safe, harmonious, love-filled life, with enough prosperity to keep me sane and well-watered, comfort in my old age end stage, surrounded by beings of love and light and joyfulness, who keep me precious, but don't smother me. I abhor having my wings gnawed off. It gets harder and harder to regrow them. I am grateful for the expansion and for the creation of a new paradigm. Not knowing what we were going to be slammed with in 2020, am I right? But Jesus. Living life fearlessly and peacefully, because there is no other way than to reconcile our old ways in the new days, spelt D-A-Z-E, dazed. Fascism is on the march, so I call upon the sisters of light, fight, smite, as we will need to be ready to slight the spite around us and mitigate the damages profound on the ground. Only the divine feminine can save us now, but we must carry the divine masculine in our teeth and whelp that puppy where we can, as he has tried to oppress his mother for too long. Mother laid down and fed him from her own life force, but now she needs to wean. Send him out into the world to become a better man. Then welcome him home, king to her queen. No pawns, no ploy, no harm, no foul. Holding hands across the universes, the Aleph, the Om, the silent scream, the laughter behind the screen, an ellipse, a collapse, and push, push, push. And so it begins. Winter has come, and now we welcome spring. New growth in abundance. Bring it forth. Oh wow, I just had the most intense dream. One of my dimensional dreams, a recurrent one. Interesting themes, so vivid. Still waking up from the dream. Jenny on her way over for coffee. Update 2022, and the words of the prophets are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, or on my iPhone 13 Max Pro, because I lacked the cojones to go off-grid, laughing my ass off. Psychedelic dreamer dreams continuously, positively, ebulliently. Energy goes where thoughts flow. A man once asked my 8-year-old self on deck on the Alanis passenger liner sailing back to New Zealand from our trip to Germany, "A penny for your thoughts." I had not heard that expression, so petulantly asked him what he meant. He smiled kindly. I want to know what you were thinking. You seem so deep in thought. My 8-year-old self, already accustomed to the unwelcome attentions of adult men, shrugged. Oh Jesus, not another fucking creep. But I stared deep into his eyes. And saw only kindness and a twinkle of bemusement there. So I returned my stare to the distant circular horizon and sighed. I am going home. He nodded and sauntered away. No harm, no foul. Meaning he didn't actually try to molest me. A decent man for a change in my childhood. A rarity. Obviously a spiritual man, because he understood my intense abutment against his energy. 8 years old. That man would have been in his late 40s, early 50s. He walked away, knowing not to fuck with the Tanya. A wise man indeed. If I had a penny for all the angelic interventions, for the unconditional love, for the cosmic conscious awareness, for the breath, and for my thoughts, why? I'd be a multi-millionaire by now. But I never put value in artifices. My wealth is in my heart, and my financial status perfectly mirrors the degrees to which it was broken and glued together again too many times, so many times that I am penniless, thoughtless, and breathless, but never the less. I rise up on angels' wings and prayers and heart-centered gifts of the gods with my ambrosia, chocolate, and the occasional liquid bliss, and most precious and beautiful of all, the love I receive from my friends and daughter and my cousins. I'm responding to a channeling or a reading from Jude Downs' Gateway to Inner Alchemy. Dreamers were once called out for not being realistic in this world. Dreamers are the ones now needed. Oh yes, we are, very much so. And I've noticed in recent months, heeded as well. To you, my babies who honour me with listening to my wisdoms and my channelings and my, spirit people, my gods and my angels, who I am in service to, by the way. Dreamers are the ones now needed to carry this world forward. The dreamers are the magicians, the witches, the goddesses, the healers, the seers, the ones who know, the gardeners of life, the creators of change. The dreamers are the ones who have dived deep within their lives to heal old wounds, to take steps forward, even when pain walks beside them. They are the ones who have felt depression and anxiety as life twisted like a knife within. The dreamers are the ones who have hope and belief in a better way, even when chaos is holding them hostage. They are the loners, the ones whose thoughts seem to drift somewhere else mid-conversation. They are the ones who feel alone in a crowded room, the believers that there is something more, something different. The dreamers are the ones who find their way on the darkest of nights and light the path for others to follow. This world, fortunately, is still full of dreamers. Be a dreamer and dream a better way. Energy does follow thought and love. Dream big, lovely ones. And teach the young ones how to dare to dream. If you have come to Gateway to the Wise Ones page, the goddess and the ancient ones have guided you here. I am passionate about encouraging women to empower themselves, to create positive change. Come join Gateway to the Wise Ones or book a reading with me as I read for women all over the world via Zoom, or if nearby, come and walk my labyrinth. She's got a lovely labyrinth she created. Haven't been there, of course, but I'm supporting her in principle. I think she lives in, I can't remember if she lives in Victoria or Tasmania now, but anyway. Or sit in ceremony in my sacred standing stone circle here in the high country of Victoria, Australia. There you go. My way is as a healer with words, a storyteller, Jude. Jude is author of From Grief to Goddess book and healing cards, and the soon-to-be-released Wise Woman message cards. Claircognizant in her soul-guided readings to anywhere in the world, creator of workshops for igniting the wise woman within. And then she posted this picture by artist is Charles Frizzell. Which is quite lovely. The crone and the little girl teaching each other about life, which is the highest order there is. Learning about life from the wise ones and the newly brought forth into the world, fresh new souls that still carry the ancient knowledge, still connected to the world beyond our world, because they still haven't quite integrated or lost that connection. 1st of September 2017. I woke up to a BCC man at my door. Someone malicious has complained about my roosters. I have to rehome them. I know it is someone being nasty, as the roosters have been here for 9 months. I raised them from chicks. Anyway, upsetting, but nothing I can do. I will drive them to the RSPCA at Waco, as Capalaba Produce won't take them anymore. So now I lose 2 more pets. What else is the spiteful neighbour going to complain about? My existence, if I fart in my garden? I know I put out to the universe that I want to live in Byron Bay, but do I have to be driven out of my lovely home by neighbourhood envy and spite? Weird shit. Last time they falsely claimed my dog is a nuisance, but they have a legitimate complaint with the roosters. Mind you, they are not loud and only crow during the day, then only for short periods. The council man was lovely, but gave me only 2 days to rehome them. I would have preferred they went to people in acreage, as I don't like taking them to the RSPCA, but no time to dally. I told the council man I had 2 hens die last week, and now this, starting to wonder why my chooks were dying all the time. I think those arseholes were poisoning them. A constant fucking vicious attack. Anyway, better take them to Waco now. Later I wrote, horrible day. The RSPCA refused to take them without an appointment. I complained to the manager, as their call centre almost never answers their phones I called twice this morning before giving up and driving 30 minutes to Waco. I called several times to report the tortured sheep last month. Useless organisation, incompetent and useless. However, the manager told me I could take my boys to the Heritage Hatchery at Richlands. It took me an hour to find them as my GPS would not work on mobile data. I had to ring Jared, who helped me get in the general direction. Then, much exasperation later, I found the place. The lady was lovely and commented on how lovely and healthy my roosters are. So that is now over and done with. I really loved those birds too. I was really distressed to have to lose them. Hopefully the fucking evil bastard in my hood will have no other dirt on me to complain about. I live here quietly and don't deserve the constant harassment. My friend Tarina Edwards wrote, "Now sit back and watch karma do its thing to him, indeed." Trouble is, I don't know who exactly it was, but I fucking hope karma got them. I really do. Trigger warning: child sexual abuse, workplace harassment and trauma activation. I was working at the police academy in early 2000. That was one of the worst years of my life. I remember dragging myself to work, deeply unhappy, barely functioning, suffering abuse at home directed at me by my mother, her conman partner, she married him a few years later, and my own abortive love affair with that homeopath psychopath. I was struggling to pull together a bat mitzvah for Jasmine with very little money, and a co-worker was helping me. I was in full breakdown mode. It was on a day I did not want to be there or anywhere, preferably dead. But I could never let my former lover or family win. I had children to raise. So I sat at my keyboard on the work PC and I wrote "I love you" all over the page through my lunch break. 30 minutes of "I love yous." Gradually I felt calmer and more centered. The IT manager came up from her department to gently tap me on my shoulder. "I love you too." What? I had disassociated, so focused on telling myself I was lovable. She informed me that the police academy tracked every computer in the place and I was being monitored, and although she understood I was trying to soothe myself, she recommended I don't do that at work as I would be judged for it. A warning. Did I want to go home? Yes, I said. I want to go home so badly. But I finished out the day, grateful that I was loved enough to save my ass in that toxic environment by that lovely woman who worried I might lose my job because I loved me. That job finished in June 2000, but in many ways I was on the path to healing in the midst of my own juicy deconstruction, like a caterpillar in limbo. It was a tough year, which by September became so tortured. Jasmine acted out by stealing. I cut ties to my evil mother for telling me that my half-sister and I were, and I quote, "dirty little girls who deserved our abuse," unquote. Well, actually she said, "dirty little girls who deserved everything that happened to you." That I barely survived it. Barely fucking survived it. That's how evil my own mother was, and no doubt whatever dimension she's in still is. 2001 was no kinder. I left a horrific, abusive job at Queensland Fireman, what was it? Queensland Fireman, Queensland Fire and Rescue Association. I hate them so much, I just associate trying to remember their name. Fucking bastards, they were. They were worse than the police academy. Unimaginably worse. In March 2001, and I have not worked again. Sad but true. A long, hard, impoverished road back to the Tanya. The perfectly imperfect, blessed, loved, beautiful, and intrinsically happy one. Cauterized and despised by fate, the Tanya keeps growing out of old skins and old tormented loves and shines as an example. You can survive almost anything, including your own self-destruction. You shall not die but live, but how you live amongst such horror, precariously positioned at the fringe of society, scorned by ignorant and hateful humanoids, those who can't connect to or comprehend your suffering as they have had ordinary lives. How you continue to live is a miracle in itself. I am beautiful. I am love. I am me. And I attached to that an article on Tony Childs, the singer, self-love, sustainability, but I can't actually read it. But the article cover story, self-love, sustainability. Tony Childs, like me, is a survivor of child sexual abuse, so she's done well to be a success with her singing and her performances and her music and her art. She's done extremely well for herself, and I'm extremely proud of you, Tony Childs. You know, Mama T sends you love. Maybe one day Mama T will be a success in her own right too. Could happen, although I'm old now, so I don't hold much hope out for it, but I carry on with my shamanic dancing and my wild ways, and sparks joy in myself and sometimes in other people who truly see me. 1st of September 2016. Today I have felt emotionally shattered and disassociative after my epic wrangling with the Commonwealth Bank customer relations person yesterday. The issue has been resolved, but I still feel the injustice and mishandling of it all. I'm sick of Hashem, that means God, throwing me on the razor's edge of the war on evil. I am just one little exhausted trauma survivor and was told today by a close friend that I scare people. It's kind of fucking nasty to say that to me too, but anyway. Me laughing out loud? Yeah, well, some people should be scared. The kinds of people who damage women and or children and people with complex PTSD, barely eking out an existence on the disability pensions because of aforementioned trauma issues brought on by abuses of women and children. Just saying. 1st of September 2015. Penny woke me up by scratching my former mother's couch and then a plastic shopping bag that I left on the floor. Midnight. Head so clear I can hear the energy, every sound intensified, even the air is humming. If I feel mentally clear like this later today, Byron Bay is calling. I hope I make it. I need the sea and the beautiful ley lines where the rainbow serpent tail comes to rest. Louise Winton wrote, I hope you go to Byron Bay and have a lovely day by the sea. 4:26 p.m. at Byron Bay. Got here around 4, which means I would have left at 2 p.m. I've had a lovely stomp around in the surf, enough to get my togs wet, but it was too cold to actually swim or body surf. Never mind. The air is fresh and reviving. The sea takes all my negativity away and reminds me of eternity. It was busy on the roads all the way. I left at 2 p.m. I had a major hold-up as I lost my prescription and had run out of 3 of my meds. So I searched the house for 2 hours, had a massive anxiety attack, rang Lynn, sorry for my irritation, Lynn. Then went to the chemist to get a loan on the meds I need. I made an appointment for my GP tomorrow for a replacement script. Then thought, fuck it. The universe, in his own perverse way, is conspiring against me, so I am going to Byron Bay anyway. So you can imagine how blissful I feel now. Wow, I think I will sit here on the beach until the sun goes down, then grab dinner and head back home. It is good to be free. Yes, it is. I listened to Led Zeppelin all the way here. Dazed and Confused kept playing various versions. By the 4th cover I thought, I will give you Dazed and bloody bollocking confused. Only I am not confused at all. Maybe a bit battered and dazed. My schnoz still hurts slightly. Anyway, it's a weird world and it's always going to be that way, so I might as well enjoy it. The backdrop, I had to walk through the dancers and drummers, lol. So pretty. The sun was setting and it was everything was shades of pink. The closest you can get to heaven without dying, in my humble opinion. My other greatest love, Byron Bay. Who said women couldn't park? I'm an excellent driver. Lights out 11 o'clock. Don't believe me? I'll put a spell on you and you will love my driving as a toad flattened under my front wheel. Not really, I'm joking about that, babies. It's all about money, not freedom. You think you're free? Try going somewhere without money. Bill Hicks, he's right about that too. Having plenty of money or more than enough money so you can achieve your aims is freedom. And yet, the gods deny me that. But they also deny me a true loving partner. But I've learnt to create my own freedom out of that shit show of horror-scape, by the way. And how did I do that? Why, my darlings, it is simply the art of not giving a fuck. Certainly not giving out any fucks at all, but when I start giving out the fucks again, hopefully it's with someone who values and cherishes my body, mind, spirit, and my freedom. The passion is going to be fucking intense because I've held it down for 10 years. I've locked it down, babies. Oh! But anyway, you have to laugh. The right man will see through all my, all my darkness and all my grief and trauma processing, and he will see the treasure that lies beneath. and will fucking adore me and be good and kind to me for the rest of our lives together, and I'll be good and kind to him. But well, in the meantime, Mama waits. 1st of September 2014. I've had a headache all night, sore neck and gland up under my left armpit. Might be coming down with something nasty. I spent the last few hours watching Fringe. I'm bloody hungry. I had a banana and 2 pieces of toast for breakfast, and I'm ravenous. I'm on the point of anarchy. I'm so ravenous. I have to cook something up for lunch shortly. My God, why am I so hungry? It's odd. Anyway, 1st of September 2011. I had another go at making crystallized violets with only slightly better success than last time. More evidence that I was never born to be a domestic, merely a goddess. Lol. Oh well, more important things in life than crystallized violets, if only I knew what they were. Talia came with Gail and helped make them, then played on her PlayStation. A good evening. 1st of September 2010. Still feel out of breath. Saw my GP, who for once was vaguely empathic. She noted I wasn't getting much air in, which made me feel happy that I'm not imagining it all. Now I have a script for prednisone to nip it all in the bud. Prednisone sends me into various stages of psychosis, mind you. It's not nice what that does to me. I'll hold off till payday though, as I think I might be a little better today. Trying to use my own mind over matter, am I right? Because I know prednisone sends me the fucking loop. 1st of September 2008 is exhausted from visiting her mother. Sighs. Dear goddess. She'd only just been, not long before that, granny dumped in the high care facility, Moreton Bay Nursing Care Unit, where they did nothing but abuse all their clients, by the way. Their residents, prisoners is what they were. It was foul. Anyway, never mind. I don't want to be re-trauma activated thinking about that. It's over now. I never have to go to a high facility again unless my own brain rots in my own skull. So there is that. God forbid that should ever happen, by the way. God's forfend. Look how I've been abandoned by my progeny for saying that I thought I was dying last September, which in that point of time I actually was led to believe by an ED doctor that I was indeed dying. So it wasn't, well, it was a bone pointing, wasn't it? Because I survived and I'm still here for the love of all the gods. But anyway, you know, my own spawn treating me with such disdain and contempt tells me they're not safe to be around me if I get really old and very ill and very frail and vulnerable. Simply not fucking safe. So we'll just leave it at that. I'm okay on my own. I dance alone. I walk alone. I hold my head up alone. I stare into the vast horizons of time, distance and space and healing alone. And the ones that love me choose to be with me quite willingly from their own heart, mind, body and soul, and are proud and happy to be in my company and on my arm, or when a lover eventually manifests in my bed with no doubts or fears or insecurities or petty jealousies, proud and happy to love me. And the rest can slough the fuck off. On that note, it's a beautiful day in the space-time continuum. It's now 1:07 p.m. It's a bit windy outside, judging by the trees being buffeted around. And I need to make some food. I need to eat. I need to feed. So, to all my beautiful ones who watch my videos and are inspired and motivated, and I hope you enjoyed some of those channelings earlier. They were very potent. I enjoyed rereading them because, of course, I write these things and I publish them, but I forget about them. I'm always in a constant state of evolution. It's why I don't usually bear grudges either, because frankly, you know, unless it's something really fucking profoundly life-threatening and evil, I forget about most little slights or insults. It's, broad scheme of things, not that fucking important. Life is beautiful. There are beautiful people who love you no matter what, no matter who, no matter what circumstances. And that's all you need to know about life. Focus on the good, but don't be a dumbass about it and be blind to the evil that surrounds you. Keep your boundaries up and see who's real with you. But focus on the good. There's so much good. Everything's in perfect harmonic counterbalance, actually. You've just got to know where to look for it, babies. Goddess bless, always and forever, the ones who love me back. And thank you to my subscribers. Takes courage to be in my life, even to watch my videos at times. So thank you to you. And gratitude to the Fae and to the ancestors that love me, and to the archangels and angels, and of course, creator of all that is, was, and ever shall be, without whom I would not be in this physical form, or mind, body, and spirit, or soul. So gratitude to that energy as well. More and more I'm seeing the golden thread that runs through my life, that shows me that the Holy One is manifesting me into my own power as a woman and preparing me for my next mission on earth, however or whatever that might be. So, to the gods, God in all manifestations. And on that note, good afternoon. Bye for now. Speak to you tomorrow, no doubt.